Hello guys, what's up? So the reason for me doing this video today is that once we get our CA foundation results, we always see people going low, especially in business laws. I can see a lot of people scoring between 35, 36, 37, in that range. Probably I'm speaking about people scoring somewhere between 34 to 39. Now, is there anything that we can do at the last second so that we can increase our score by 3, 4, 5, 6 marks? Can we do it? If you are looking for, without teaching you any new concepts, of course, I cannot just like that boosts up your 7 marks by teaching a concept which may be asked or may not be asked. So, I try to, point out some points where there are some common mistakes which a student does. I want you to be conscious about these mistakes. If you try to rectify them, there are all chances of you covering this shortfall of whatever 5 to 6 marks are, so that you guys can comfortably score 40 plus in law. So that would be the output of this particular video. I've just tried to point down all those particular points where people might go wrong. So if you are looking for one such tip, then there are many such tips that is going to come your way. Then just continue with this video. So what are the basic points that a student would go wrong? The first thing is that whenever the law paper, always remember people, I'm telling the law paper, it is going to be voluminous, it is going to be lengthy. So go prepared here that you are going to write more. It should not be a surprise, it should have been a practice. So go prepared here. Do not take an additional pressure on that day that this paper is so lengthy. Law paper is going to be lengthy. Yeah. Now, what is the meaning? Why did I write 100 marks? It's not something new. You also know it is 100 marks. I need not tell it to you as a tip. But why did I tell you to you here is that, now remember, whenever I'm telling you it is a 100-mark paper, what do? We take our own sweet time to answer the first 2 hours. But in that first 2 hours, you hardly would have covered 55, 60 marks. And by the end of the time, if you look at the time, there will be 1 hour left. You need to cover some 10, 12 more questions. Now what will you do? You will just start scribbling. And the maximum people will go and touch will be anywhere around 80, 82 marks is what, because the students will not have that knack of writing how much is required from the question 1. So what is that I'm trying to tell you is your agenda is to write the 100 marks. Now I'm not saying just write something and come, but I'm telling you try to maintain quality. But if you lose straight away, if you're writing 80 marks or 82 marks, that means 18 marks you're straight away leaving it out. So your total is now 35 on 80, not on 35 on 100, because you have not written those 20 or 18 marks at all. So this is your first agenda, to complete 100 marks. So keep up your pace from the question 1. Do not waste much time. Keep looking at the watch. Do a proper analysis. For every 1 hour, you should have completed somewhere between at least 25 to 30 marks. That should be your pace. You should have been somewhere near, by the end of 1 hour, you should be somewhere near 30 or 35 marks. You should have completed. So try to keep up that pace. Yes, that's the mistake number 1. The mistake number 2, which most of the students will do. Now, what is that? Now imagine if you know a question really good. You will write the questions, past life also. You will write the questions next life also. We don't require so much, right? No one asked you the questions flashback. Why do you need all that? Try to write what is needed, what is precise, and what is required for that answer. That is sufficient. You need not write everything. So how much you need to write depends upon the marks. See how much they are asking. Now, for example, if they are asking you what are the essential elements of valid contract. Now you know that there is a huge points. One is given under section 10, one is not given under section 10. If I write every point, if I explain everything, it is very well impossible. Now you have 2 things to do. What is that? You can write everything, all the points, and explain them in 1 or 2 lines. So by that you will be able to cover all the points. That's the easiest one. Now what the other way of looking at it is, now imagine, sir, what if they're asking it for 4 marks? What if they're asking it for 3 marks? Then try to pick up what is more important. Then try to write what is given under section 10. So your delivery should depend upon the marks also. Now this real-time analysis should happen when you are in the class. So do not overwrite, do not underwrite. That's point number 2. The third point, try to avoid writing in paragraphs. Do not start at one. Your pen will just touch the paper at the first line. It will just leave the paper in the last line. People, remember, to look at that particular thing itself will be confusing. How will I know what you have written where? You would have written law. In that, in between your biography also you would have included. Now, I'm not saying you will, but there are high chances. So try to split your questions, the answers, into points. It is always an effective way. Is clear? Okay. Next one, the fourth one, very, very important one. The first answer theory. What is this first answer? First answer means, people, I know you all come from that generation, love at first sight. Yeah? When love can happen at first sight, don't you think the person can also judge you at the first sight? If your first question is a made up answer, meaning you're writing it on your own, that means you have set a mindset for the valuer that I'm not knowing the exact provisions, but I'm just writing something. Remember, you need not write the questions in the same order of your question paper. You can write different questions, that is allowed. But if you take up a main question first, you are expected to write all the sub questions under that there only. That don't split. So your first opening question has to be the most confident question you have. Yes, that's very important. Next one, again important thing. What is that? Difference between questions. Now the question is, imagine they're asking you a difference between void contract and voidable contract. Now the question is, let us imagine it's for a 4 marks. Now what is your general perception? Sir, they have asked me for 4 marks. That means for each mark I need to write 1 point. That means if I write 4 points, my answer is covered. That is what your mindset will be. If you look at ICAI guideline answers, ICAI is very crystal clear that whatever is the differences given in your book, the entire thing is expected for 4 or 3 or 5, whatever is the marks. So do not ever restrict. If you know more, try to write everything you know. It is never that one point is equal to 1 mark. Nowhere it is written. So if at all there are 7 differences, you are expected to write 7 also. Here, yes, important again. 6th one, legible. Sir, what is that legible? Don't do the mistake I have done here. What? I just written it in some time constraints. So make sure that your answers are readable. Do not just scribble something. And few people I see, they start from, if the answer booklet is this much, you just start the points from here. Why? Whom did you leave this space to? For our government to come and construct metro there? No. Then where did this space go? Do not start such things. Do not do such mistakes. Write it from normal, wherever you write, wherever the margins are. Try to do it in that same way. Clear? Don't do such mistakes. Yes. So write legibly. Yeah. And that last 2 answers though, don't even ask. It is not even English, not even Hindi. Greek, Latin and all will come up there. So not expected out of you. Next one, underline keywords. Remember, a person is doing a job. A valuer will be valuing somewhere around 7,500 papers in a day. So he is looking at papers. Monotony will be created. That is a part and parcel of a human psychology. They will be as careful as possible, but it is monotonous, right? Looking at the same paper. But can we stand out from the rest of the people? Yes, possible. And how can you do that? You can just underline the keywords. I told you to write in points. Now, when you're writing something called as voidable contract, what is a voidable contract? A contract which can be treated as valid at the option of one party. Correct? Now, this you try to underline. Now, say for example, if they're asking you what is ultra wires transaction, so you clearly write whenever the directors exceed the power given by the shareholders in the MOA, that is the object clause. So if at all the company exceeds the power given in its MOA, it is called as ultra wires transaction. It is void ab initio, underline, so that you're saving the time of the valuer. Sir, don't look at the entire paper, it is here only, just look at it. He will have that regards to you as well, so he will also appreciate you for doing that. Understood? Next one, do not quote wrong sections or case laws. Try to write. If you don't know, it's okay, but writing a wrong is a landmine only, macha. You only spoiled your chance. Clear? Next one, leads in the question. Very, very important. Now, people ask me, sir, I do not know. Whenever I'm reading a question, I feel this question belongs to this topic also, this topic also. How do I have to answer that? Should I answer it in both the perspective? No. If you write it in both the perspective, it is like wrong only. Now, that's where I'm saying in the question there will be leads. What do you mean by leads? Now, if you have studied the keywords of that particular answer, and if you have gone, if you know the topic, if you know the keywords, those keywords will be present in the question. They would be emphasizing on that. Now, for example, there is one question in your book only that with regards to exceptions to quid pro quo. So a father wanted to gift a property to his daughter. He signs the document while he is going on the way to the what is that, register office. The person meets with an accident and he dies. Now the daughter goes and claims the property. Now the question is this particular transaction valid? Can the daughter claim the property? You are thinking, sir, it is a gift. No, sir, hence it is valid. No. See, now the provision can be taken as gift also. The provision can be taken as exceptions to quid pro quo, natural love and affection. Father and daughter, gift comes from random people. They have clearly written the document has to be signed and registered. The father was going on the way for getting registered. So these are the leads. You need to catch them. So I will not write it as gift. I will write it as natural love and affection. Getting it? Okay. Sir, I want to summarize the whole concept. Now how to do? I'm not able to read. There are marathons uploaded. I myself have done marathon. If you guys want to watch it, that is before the exam, do it. If you are not able to read, yes, no new concepts. Do not study any new concepts at this point. Don't refer any new book at this point. If you guys have referred a particular author's book, continue doing it, because no matter whom you have gone to, everyone would have done their best job. So you need not worry. Continue referring to the same books. And the last one, sir, what to do if the paper is difficult? Even after doing all this, what do I do? What will you do? Sir, what will I do, sir? If the paper is difficult, if I'm not able to answer, what will I do? I'll just walk away from the exam hall. Don't do that mistake. Remember, if a paper is difficult for you, the paper is difficult for India as well. If you are walking out, that means everyone is walking out. Remember, the more you stay, the more are the chances of you scoring whatever is possible. Try to give your best until the last second. Don't give away the hope. Do not walk away in between. Do not take up the challenge. I want to look cool in the class. I'll walk out as soon as possible. Don't want all that. Try to give your best until the last second. Yes. So these are some mistakes that you guys can avoid, or few things you can improve on. Try to imply this particular thing in your exam that is going to happen, and all the very best. And I want you to follow these things. Come back after your exam and comment here and tell me whether this helped you or not, and whether were you able to apply this or not. And one last thing, do not ever reach late to your exam hall. And don't have any pressure. It is just an exam for your career and not an exam for your life. So that you have nothing to lose. It's okay. Just give your best. Whatever is the result, just let us take it and let us work accordingly. So all the very best to you people, and I wish the best happens to you guys. Yes, thank you so much. See you all.